Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Tertius. Not sure if you are there. Good morning, Randy.
Yes, I am. Thanks, Morris. Good morning to you and good evening from our side.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, what a great day here in Australia. I tell you, it's just great weather again. We are so blessed all over the world.
Yeah, fantastic. We had a nice hot day today. So, it's 11 p.m. here with us Thursday night. So, cooling down a little bit, appreciating the cooler weather. So, but yes, amazing day as well in South Africa, Southern Hemisphere, in the last part of its of summer now, going into fall.
And those are the great barbecue nights. You know, where the weather is nice and calm at night, and you make a fire, and yeah, no, that's fantastic. Well, this morning here, it's now 7 a.m. in the morning here. I forgot that it's actually so late in South Africa. How about you guys, Keith? Yeah. You guys are in Pacific Standard Time, California. Is that correct, or?
For Randy, it is. I live in Calgary, Canada, which is Mountain Standard Time. So it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon here.
Nice. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so Tertius, I'll kick off this meeting. Is there anything that you want to talk about? And because there's not much to report here, but I'm quickly going to get into the just probably about a 10-minute discussion about what's happening with Bitcoin and Litecoin. We can perhaps go into a few other coins. But is there anything that you would like to mention, or anybody on the call?
Well, Morris, just from my side, we've seen the blog come out and the comments went live, I think, earlier today. So congratulations on the continuing development and improving the stuff. From our side, just a lot of appreciation, and interesting also to get the feedback about the Litecoin spike that we were expecting actually being suppressed and manipulated. So it's really... we're really grateful to be part of this community where we can get this sort of inside information, and that gives us a lot more confidence than when we were operating on our own, not really knowing what was going on and why stuff wasn't working out the way we thought it should play out. So in that sense, thank you very much for allowing us, or creating this community and allowing us to just share in this information. So I don't know if anybody else wants to say something, but I think that's my 2 cents worth for now.
I agree with you 100%, Tertius. To know what's going on in the background and why things are not planning out exactly the way it was predicted is, I think, more valuable than the actual predictions, because we know what to do. We're not left out in the dark. So thank you, Marius, for the updates.
Yeah, exactly. And Randy, welcome. I see you are there too. You guys did a fantastic webinar with eJokie the other day. I watched it. I also made a comment on your YouTube video there. It was just excellent,
Yes, sir. I think it's... with Python Signals, this is, even though we have, you, Marius, and the great updates that you give on as far as I'm concerned, it's a pretty regular basis, but this is definitely the long play. And I think people need to sort of immerse themselves in this whole thing, dive in, get in, immerse yourself, soak it in, soak it up, and be a part of this thing as it moves forward. Cryptocurrency is not a firecracker. You know what I mean? It's a rocket to the moon, so it's a long play. And it's not something that people should look for, immediate, quick, gains today, and then that's it. It's like, no, man, play this thing out, and it's gonna last a while. So it's 4, 5, 6 years down the road, and we're best positioned thanks to Python Signals and the Marius Lambden reports, man. So thanks a lot.
Yeah, Randy, you actually mentioned a very good and important point there, and that is about the long term. And Tertius, I'll quickly get into the manipulation, and for you too, Keith, just quickly into the manipulation, explain that. Now, with regard to manipulation in the market, and let's quickly go, for the sake of everybody on the call here, I'm going to go to Litecoin. Let's start with Litecoin here. Now, it's very important that we identify trends like what we identified and say that we expect Litecoin to break out. And if that doesn't happen, we identify that long before the time as well. That is what we need to do. And this is why we say to everybody, or most people, I hope people get it, that always read the latest report. Log onto your back office, read every report, because this market can change in 24 hours very quickly. Now, a typical example is here. If you look at the screen here, okay, look at where my mouse is now. We are now there at 11 January. And look what the market is doing. It's going sideways for a day. Now, remember, I'm on a day chart. If you look at that, it's a day chart. Now, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, let's do it a different way. Let's just go to date range. And I'm going to give you, okay, for how many days the market went sideways. Look at this, 27 days that the market went sideways and nothing happened. And suddenly, bam, you get that big spike upwards, where the market went from $32 in Litecoin to $44. So you literally almost made about 50% extra money just by waiting. But you had to wait for 27 days. Do you know how many emails I get in that time where people say, when is the market going to move? What is going to happen with the market? And some of those people would email me on day 1, day 5, day 10, day 12, and I send them the same information. This is why I always say, and you'll see if you look at my Twitter account, all social media, I always tell people, listen, just be patient. The patience is going to make you a rich person. Now, exactly the same year where we are now, but on a bigger scale, if you look at that now, what's going to happen is this little green line that's coming there is going to take Litecoin up who knows how high. In real terms, what should have happened is on this specific time frame here, about the 23rd of February, maybe a little bit earlier, Litecoin was supposed to break out here. And I'll quickly give you an idea here. It shouldn't have gone this low because it shouldn't have broken that orange line that you see there. When it breaks that, and it went a little bit deeper, it's pure manipulation. And I'll explain to you now what happened there. But it should come down here into that point there, should have gone way past that point of 7 in and make that third leg could have been very, very big down, and then it forms another leg upwards, something similar to that. Now, let me just redraw that. So it's on the low here. You would get it something like this. Your third leg is very high, fourth, and then obviously a stab through to about who knows how high. You know, we expected that could be like a stab through to about at least maybe 191, but at least about 144, something like that. And the funny thing is, all the data still points to that mark of $144, where it could perhaps go beyond that. But what we have found probably at this roundabout year 23 and 24 February, a little bit earlier, as soon as Litecoin wanted to break out, I think it was about 20 February, there are 3 wallets that we have identified. Now you can go and do the research yourself. There's software that you can find it now. You go and have a look at the sales volume. You identified who sold, and you can actually go and trace those wallets. You know, there are Litecoin wallets that must sell. Now what happens is they sell it on Coinbase. And I've always said there's a lot of manipulation going on Coinbase. I don't understand who it is, but we also need to understand that Coinbase is owned by very wealthy, don't want to get in trouble here, but just go and search. You know, Coinbase is not the honest little guy around the block. You know, they are the people that manipulate the markets. So what happened at that point is, as soon as Litecoin went up, they would sell batches of 5, 10 to 15 Litecoin at a price lower than what the normal public can buy it. So if Litecoin, for example, on Coinbase or any other exchange is $45, they would go and sell it for $44. The only way you can do it on Coinbase is if you know somebody on the inside. Somebody must manually go and change that price, or they have access to a facility that we don't have. Why would you sell Litecoin for $44 when the public price on all other exchanges are more? So this is what we look at. And then they would sell 5, 10, or 15, always 5, 10, or 15 batches. At a lower price, it brings the price down. They keep on doing it, and they suppress the price for the whole day. And that has been going on for a long time, up till they decided to drop it. At this time here, the 24th of February, Litecoin was supposed to break out rapidly to about 67, I think it was about $67. And the strength was a lot there. And that is where a lot of the manipulation went on, and basically Litecoin dropped. Now, that's not the only one that happened. If you look at Bitcoin, the same happened with Bitcoin as well. The algorithm data points that specific day to be an up day. When I saw that, I realized, that is the suppression of Litecoin. Look, the beauty about our system is that we can find these days that they manipulate the market. But in the end, what does happen is that Bitcoin eventually will come back and break out, and so will Litecoin. But I do not believe, Tertius, Keith, and Randy, that Litecoin is going to go up as high as what we think. Because mark my words, when there is a spike, and it could happen in the next 3, 4, or 5 days, that spike, if Litecoin goes above 70, I guarantee you they will stop Litecoin. Litecoin should be way, way higher than what it is now. So we are playing in a market that is a manipulative market, but we can find those trends, and we just need to play the market. Now, if you still look at this gain here of 294%, if you take the low here and you go right there from the low, and we move the market upwards here, where my mouse is now, we believe that we could still make, it's a total of 294% gain. Still a lot of money. Now, we initially said that we could make a 500% gain. A 500% gain is, let me just show you where that is. Is about minimum there, around about 135, 140. But the range is going to be somewhere around here, 297%. It's still a huge gain for those people that bought in the bottom and still didn't sell. Unfortunately, manipulation of the market is going to happen. It's happening in the world stock markets. This is why nobody makes money in the world stock markets, except the elite. And I've told you guys this story that I was invited to New York to go meet some bankers to get into their circle, their inner circle. So I got to this facility that they use where you walk in, you give the guy in the front, you give him your jacket. It smells very nicely in there, You walk through, you see these leather couches, you see people sitting there, drink red wine, and they smoke these big cigars. And in there, in that meeting, I heard the stories that these bankers were talking about, how they are going to run up the world stock markets and Bitcoin and cryptos as well, and how they will dump it. This is why the bankers will never come out and say they own cryptos. Yes, they are. They're already in it. They own it. They make a lot of money privately as well. Why wouldn't they? If you look at this, Litecoin going up 294% from the bottom, those guys have already bought here on the bottom, or maybe a little bit higher, or they bought there and they have held it, and they are going to wait till they make some money. For them, 100% profit, you can't make 100% profit in the world stock markets this quickly. But in cryptos, you can. You look at Theta, how much percentage is that now? 300%, I think. It's crazy the money you can make. But while I was there sitting with these guys and talking to them, and they laugh and they drink and they smoke their cigars, they talk about how they will run the markets up, how they will use the media, who's going to go on the media, what are they going to say, how they distribute the media to all these media outlets, or the news to the media outlets. It's crazy stuff, guys. It's really crazy stuff. And for me, a guy who grew up in an orphanage in South Africa, who have never been exposed to these things. Imagine the goosebumps you get on your arms when you hear these things, and your hair raises on the back of your head. You get so annoyed, when you hear that, and you realize actually, okay, I'm this age now. This is the reason why I never made money in the world stock markets. So you get really annoyed. But you know what? The world is waking up. People are waking up. And this is where we are now. What I can say to you is that on certain calls that have been recorded with these bankers, I've got contacts, and I've mentioned that to you guys a few weeks ago, that Goldman Sachs, on one of the call, there was Goldman Sachs, Digital Asset, I can't remember all the other people, JP Morgan and two other banks. But anyway, on that call, these banks were talking about how they are going to run up cryptocurrencies. And they were specifically talking about running up Litecoin between 3,000 and 6,000, I think was the figure. Running up Ethereum past, I haven't got the figures in front of me now, Tertius, but let me just quickly have a look here. Maybe I do in my notes. Yeah, here we go. They were talking about running up Bitcoin between around about 64,000 to 80,000. I don't know the exact timeline. I think they were talking about this year. But my figure for Bitcoin, just so you know, is we're going to break the all-time high, in my opinion, this first or second week in 2020. But they were talking about running up Bitcoin to 64 to 80,000. Now we'll see if that happens. They were talking about running up Ethereum to 13 to 16,000. NEO, N-E-O, between $800 and $1,200. Bitcoin Cash between 7,000 and 10,000. And then Litecoin, running up Litecoin between 3,000 and 6,000. These guys have the power to do it because they trade with billions of dollars. They've got access to maybe $1 trillion, $2 trillion, $3 trillion. Who knows? Money is not an object for them. So this is with regard to Litecoin, that we do have a bit of suppression. As I say, that price should have been a lot higher where we are now. But nonetheless, not the end of the world. Now, the other point I just wanted to talk about was that long term that, yeah, my notes that Randy mentioned. We need to think long term. And this is why I tell everybody, don't come into Python Signals and try and do day trading. Day trading, guys, it's the quickest way for a noob or a new person to come into cryptos and lose all your money. I promise you, you will lose all your money. Shorting the market, using 10% of your money, that kind of stuff, stay away from it. There are people that lose their entire fortune by doing that kind of stuff. If you do it, allocate 5% of your money, of your portfolio, then you do day trading. And if you are successful there, you can put a little bit more in. But our data is not day trading data. You can use it for that if you want. Many people do. But I'm just saying that we at Python Signals, this is not what we do. We look for the trend. The trend now is upwards to a level, let's say around about 76, maybe 80, maybe more. The trend is upwards. At this specific point, we don't know how high Litecoin will go because it will be price suppressed. I can tell you what I think, where it's going to go. I believe that this little blue line here is going to stop between 76 and $88. I think this is where Litecoin is going to stop, between that level. So still a sizable gain. You know, you look at 70, 80, maybe 100% gain with Litecoin, even if you buy it now. So it's still big money to come here. But if that happens, it has to happen very, very quickly, like within the next 7 days. It could happen perhaps 10 days, and I'll get into Bitcoin quickly. As you can see, we sent this Bitcoin chart out yesterday. And just for the new people that are on the call, and for the new people who are going to listen to this call as well, because we record this, the market came all the way down on the left-hand side here. We had this big steep drop, and the market went right down here and bottomed here. And at this point here, we mentioned to risk-adverse investors that you can start buying, but the safe zone to start buying is around about this zone here, about 3637. Now, there's some people that made a lot of gain just in this move. And let me just make this a little bit larger. This move, let me just get that price range, more or less from that bottom to there, gave Bitcoin about a 34% gain. That means that altcoins, your coins like Digibyte, EOS, NEO, Ethereum, OMG, went up double that. Now remember this, when Bitcoin goes up 30% or 34%, your altcoins are most likely going to go up double that. And then the market, actually, we had the American shutdown where the market, everything in the world just went quiet. Year from about 24 or 25 December, and the market went all the way down to this low point here. But again, have a look at that low point and this low point here. That low point is 3125. That low point was a little bit higher. This low point a little bit higher. And we get another low point here, which is a little bit higher. And you can see that all these just go up. And what should happen now is that we should have a green candle here in the next 3 hours. The day will change over to the next candle, and then we should have a green candle again. We expect that the market will start moving upwards, and it could have another jump similar to this, because it's due for that. Maybe a jump to that black line, sideways, upwards again, and into that level. Very important, and also on that message yesterday that we posted, this is now becoming a very dangerous zone. At any time now, this market can start turning around downwards and head into D. We believe that this should still head into that black line. See that black line, which is that resistance line? And let me show you where that line comes from. So let's follow that line upwards. And you can see that we are touching here. And let me just put a circle there. So you can see that we are touching there. Very important that we get that. And as you go upwards, you can see that we are touching this one here again, which was the, that was about 25 July of 2018. And you wanted to touch. More or less touching there again. If you zoom in, you'll see that it's a little bit off, but more or less just touching that. Okay, and then as you go upwards here, you see that it breaks right through here and you get that support line there. Very interesting that it actually touches here now. Now we're back here, December 17. And if you go down slightly, with a few dollars here or there, you can see it's touching there, more or less touching again. So in our opinion, this can be regarded as, you can probably move that just slightly down, and then you get it to touch exactly. You can see how scary that actually is, where it touches that. Now that tells us that this black line here, just make that dark and thick, that black line there is the potential resistance line. It's going to be very difficult to break through that line because it didn't do it here. It never did it anywhere. Once it's stabbed through here, and here it actually becomes different because it's broken out there, came down, but when it went up again, it didn't go through that. There's a little stab through, and keep that in mind. See that little stab through, where that green line just went up and came down again. Here again, up and down. Okay, here it stopped there. Now, what could potentially happen here, right here at the bottom of this market, this is what I said yesterday, and let me just draw this quickly just to show you what I see. We see the market doing perhaps something like this, and heading up into that point, perhaps shooting up like this and coming down, and then into that level there. And let me just change that color so we can see it a little bit better. Just going to make that pink and make that thick. So see what we expect is the market to go up. Now, what I said yesterday is once we hit that level, okay, if we hit 4360 or close to that level, basically, if you break this level here, if we break that high point here, start laddering out, get out of cryptos. So you start laddering out by selling 10% of your crypto holdings. Like for example, for me, if I own EOS, so that means that EOS should go up. There you go. It's going to break that level there. It's going to go, as soon as it breaks it, I'm selling 10%. A little bit higher, sell 10% again. A little bit higher, sell 10% again. All cryptos at this moment will most likely follow what Bitcoin is going to do. So let's get back to Bitcoin here. So if we hit that level, it could stab through exactly what I showed you on the top there. Remember this one here? Could perhaps do something like this, where it stabs through and comes back the same day. Could do something like this and come back the next day. So expect perhaps just a stab through to break that support line. It must break the support line, because going forward, when it comes down here to this level here at the down point, it's going to break that resistance line again, just there. So this will give us an indication that that resistance line is going to break. And when it breaks that here, the final time, it will never ever come back. So we do not believe that Bitcoin is going to go below this level here. It's going to come and retest that low. Now, a lot of people on the internet all over the world are talking about Bitcoin going to $2,000. You know, it's, let's say it's going to go down, 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 down to about this level here, even 1,800, and then go up. The reason why you don't need to worry about that is because we here on Python Signals on this call now, we know that we are going to get out in this blue block. And let me just clear this up. It's a little bit messy there. Okay, so we can see this blue block here. We are going to get out of the market. You don't want to hold anything. When this market starts going up, you need to ladder out and get out of the market. Because I can tell you now, there are even people now that suggest that we are going to have a breakout here and this market is going to go to $12,000. Okay, let me give you the two scenarios. If it does happen and the market is going to go to $12,000, and let's say if we are wrong, then we simply come back here and we start buying back again. And we don't worry about that because we jump in later, but we've protected ourselves against a potential downturn. I just don't see that happening. As nowhere in our data is that a probability of heading up to $12,000. Not now. It just won't happen. You saw the price suppression. You saw what they do. I mean, these guys will not just simply allow a free market. Sorry, I'm just going to mute everybody there again. There's and if you want to talk, please just unmute yourself. Now, let's say if the market goes down here, remember, we are now out of the market because we have sold at about 34360. Now, remember that I'm not going to be there to hold your hand at that point and tell you, oh, listen, we've just gone past that now, sell 10%. Oh, we are this high now, sell another 10%. You just need to think for yourself a little bit once we get to these levels here. If you break that level here, okay, it's not a problem if you get out of that market completely, because you will be in so much profit that you just mustn't worry about it. Because you're going to see coins go up, like EOS will go up past that and could potentially go up to about 5,559, around about that level there. I mean, that's an enormous gain that you will make from an already big gain that we already made. With EOS, for example, you look at from that bottom point there, let me just see what that profit was. Now, many people didn't get in right at the bottom, but just to give you an idea, that's 186%. But if you got in, let's say a little bit higher, even there, let's pull it up. If you got in, let's say right at that level, more or less, you would still make 80% or have made 80%. If you got in later above those levels, there you go, still 40%. Now, this market could potentially go a lot higher, probably around about there. And if you came in very late, you bought there, there's still 80% gains. So don't stay in the market. You know, when the market hit this level here, that high level, I sold 10% of my Bitcoin. It's not a lot. And I went back and bought in the bottom. So I made a little bit of a gain. but I didn't sell everything because I know the market has to go up a little bit more. Now, on this block here, we intend to sell. And as I say, whether you just simply sell and get out of the market, it's always a good strategy. That's not a bad strategy. Because as I say, if the market then goes up and we see it breaks this resistance line and it just goes upwards, we simply get in higher. Now, if the market goes lower, then we still sit with cash and we wait. Now, if the market, as many people are saying, that it's going to go to 2,000 or 1,800, we wait. Here, right at the bottom, you don't spend all your money and get back in the market in one shot. So let's say if you've got $10,000 and you come here at the bottom, and we will recommend you where to get back into the market. You can already see there's the date that we expect the market to be on a low, 29 March. Okay, so that's 30 days or 29 days from today, or 30 days. So you've already got that now. That means that we're going to be out of the market for about 14 to 21 days. You simply wait. You don't get back in the market. You don't short the market. You don't play that games unless you are qualified to know what you're doing. For me personally, I don't care about shorting the market either. You know, I keep my money out and I'm waiting for that low point there. So I'm focusing on that. At that low point there, I'll spend 10% and get back into the market. If the market drops further, I'll get 10% again. If the market drops lower than this point here, 3125, I'm waiting and I'm holding. But we still, guys, we're still 2, 3, 4 weeks ahead of the game here. So, but once we get there, I'll give you the right information, how to buy, how to get back in on the bottom. It's easier now to identify that bottom because we've got this bottom here. This bottom was very difficult to identify. As you may recall, we actually called this one the bottom of the market, which was the 3.2 level, and it actually went down a little bit lower to 3.125. Now this actually should have been the low, but it just didn't. It should have gone a little bit lower actually. But anyway, so the market can catch you out on many levels. But when we get to this level, we will wait. We will play it very safe. Very important there. That's where you make the money too, by getting in on the low at the right time. Now the market here is going to be very forgiving here. Just so you know, it's not going to come down like this and then suddenly shoot up like that. That's not going to happen. What is going to happen is very forgiving. It's going to come down here. It's going to hover around for 2 or 3 days on the bottom and then break out upwards. So that is going to be an easier level for us to identify that bottom. So don't worry too much about that. The most difficult part here is identifying where to sell. But what I'm saying to you guys now is that black line there, you've seen the big resistance line that it is. We expect the market to hit that black line, come down, maybe try and break through again. It's going to give us a potential of 2 tops. Let me just show you. I think I mentioned that last time as well, Tertius, you know, it's going to give you a double top. So potentially something like this, maybe a stab through and it comes down the same day, and then it's going to drop very quickly, but then it's going to come back here and go up again, and then it drops. So it's going to give you 2 chances to get out of the market. You can get out there and on that second top. The market always does a double top in Bitcoin. Let's go back and have a look quickly and see where did it actually make a double top, so I can show you what it could potentially look like. Ah, there we go. There's a perfect example. See there? There's a top and there's a top. See what I mean with the top? It's going to make that top there. Then it's going to come down and make another top a little bit lower. And there you can see that now. See that, Tertius, Randy? Now let's go back a little bit further. Ah, there's another one here. There's a top. In this case, this top was a
lower.
Yeah. See, it made a top there, came down, and that one was a little bit higher. So it can be that as well. But the point is, it's going to make a double top. Look at this one. There's a perfect example again. See, there's a top there, and there's another top. That one was higher, and this one is lower. Now, and you can go back in Bitcoin 10 years back, and you'll see that it always makes a double top. So it's very forgiving. So if you make a mistake and you didn't get out, you have got a second chance to get out. But I can tell you now, don't try and play that top. You know, don't try and think that the market is going to break out here. It could break out, Tertius, Randy, you know. It could break out, maybe to the $5,000 level. But for me, I don't mind. You know, it's the top. I'm taking the profit. I'm out of the market. I'm safe. And I'll come back and buy a year later. This is why I say I ladder out my buys. As soon as we're above that level, I sell 10%, go up a little bit more, I sell 10% again, go up a bit more, I sell 10% again. And as the market starts turning, we don't know, the market can go to 5,000. Maybe at 5,000, I sell 10%. And as the market starts coming down, remember this, you're in dangerous territory now. If you try to sell when the market drops, you're going to have a big problem because everybody is selling. You're going to tell your exchange to sell your Bitcoin at 4,990. Everybody is going to start selling. There's no buyers. Because as the market drops, your order may only get filled maybe at 3.8. So be very careful. That's why I say, you know, this specific time in the market, catching that top is very, very difficult because there's a lot of manipulation going on. Tertius, I hope that makes a bit of sense.
Yeah, absolutely, Marius. It does make sense. Absolutely. Thanks.
Sorry, I'm just talking too much here. So how about you, Randy? Anything else to add or?
Yeah, you know, this looks awesome. You know, of course, for some of us that have been in the market for, you know, the last 3 years or so, I mean, the kind of things that you pick up just by understanding these few things that you're going over here, holy moly, what a difference my life would have been in if I had known this sort of strategy and kind of what to look out for, you know, back in December 2017. I mean, you know, just the fact that you say trying to catch the top, and then when the market turns around, and then of course everybody is selling at that point. Of course, there's no, you didn't accomplish some great feat because you made it to the top and then you watch it turn around and then you're trying to sell. It's like, what profits did you think you were going to make once you go over the crest, you know? And just that little thing to know that it's better to be safe on the front end than the risk, you know, going over to the back end. I mean, come on, man, that's huge news right there. That's huge. So that's, you know, that's just one of those things that I'm picking up on here, Marius. Play it safe on the front end.
Absolutely, Randy. You know, and this is what we want to try and do at Python Signals. The last thing that we want is we don't want a kindergarten. We want to teach you and train you that ultimately in a year or 2 or 3, that you will be able to do the same kind of work that we have been doing and better. Now, if we get into technical analysis also, let me just show you what we see could potentially happen there again. So waves, there's a thing called Elliott wave. And this point here where my mouse is now is the low end of the market. Now, waves always go up 5 waves. But in this case, in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, in Litecoin, there's a thing called a 9-wave structure. And we're still in the 9-wave structure, and I'll quickly explain that to you. So if you start on the bottom here with 0, you can see that that is the high point there. The market goes up, it comes down. Then it goes up, and then it comes down. Right down to that bottom point there. And then it goes right up to that point there, which is the high point. And that is your 5 waves in Elliott wave. It happens all over the place. Now let's have a look at Litecoin quickly and see if we can identify the, I'll use this chart here. Let's see if we can identify the low point here as well. Now in Litecoin, it's exactly the same. Now, Litecoin was ahead of Bitcoin. Remember this. If you go and study and you see what Litecoin did, Litecoin was way ahead of Bitcoin like 2 or 3 days. And suddenly it got price suppressed. And now Bitcoin and Litecoin is running the same. So you get that as your level 1, your level 2, 3, it came down 4, and there we are, 5. Now keep in mind, let's go back to Bitcoin again. There's your structure again. Now what happens next is, in a point like this, is that you would get like a ABC correction. And I'm just going to go through this really quick. That could potentially be the ABC correction there. It starts with a big drop. Now that drop should have happened, but it should have been something like this. Every single drop between 1 and 2 is an ABC correction. That drop between 3 and 4 is an ABC correction similar to this. This is just a very large one. When you write down at the bottom there, we start again all over. And we start with, now in this case, we're only going to have 2 waves, not 5 waves again. But from here, what we expect, it must go higher than that level there, probably just touching it or maybe a little bit higher to round about that level there. Then it must come down. Now remember, that is 6, this is now 7. So remember that now is wave 7. Sorry, from there, I'll draw that in shortly. From there, it must come down again, maybe just short for a day or 2. And then we head into that level there. Now that can go, as I said, can go up to 5,000. But at this level here, inside that block, that is when we must sell. Now, so I hope you get the picture. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here at the bottom. So we just put a 6 there. So that's level 6. That level is 7. That is number 8. And then we finish with number 9. Now remember how scary this is. We actually predicted this uptrend year in 28 January, somewhere around there. So we already said at that point that we're going to have this 9-wave structure going upwards. And that 9-wave structure is going to be the same in, as a matter of fact, here I drew it as well. I think that was in the report as well, where it went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now it's going to go up into number 7 there. It's going to drop down again into 8, and then a final wave up to complete the 9-wave cycle in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now, if Litecoin was set loose, you would have seen a humongous increase in price. But I don't believe we're going to see that again. So Bitcoin at the moment is the one that we're going to follow. I'm just going to clear this up a little bit. You're welcome to take screenshots if you want to study that afterwards or have a look at the video. So any other questions there, guys? Now remember, what we would normally do is in our reports, we would just show a line going upwards. That means that the market goes up. It doesn't mean that it will just go straight up. Look at what it does there. It goes up, it spikes up, goes sideways, and it drops. But ultimately, the pattern shows that we're heading into that blue box. Some of the other coins, Tertius, we can go through questions if there's any questions. If people want to know about a specific coin, we can bring it up. We can have a look at that as well.
I think there's a question from Sophia. Just to clarify, you recommend that we exit all our cryptos, 100%, not only 50%. So I think what she's talking about there is the target around about 4,4165, 4,200, 4,300, that blue block. You are recommending that in our trading portfolio, the risk portfolio that we're trading with, we're going to get 100% out of crypto and back into either USD or USDT, a stable coin, or US dollar cash. Correct?
Yes, that is correct. And let me explain quickly that again, Tertius. You know, see this level here, number 5. Anytime now, anytime within the next day, 2 or 3, even overnight on Friday in American time, This market could perhaps move upwards. I don't know how high this is going to go, but my first level there is that black line there, which is 4017. It may go past that line maybe next week. But when we go past number 5, that's the first time that I'm going to sell 10% of all my cryptos. Only 10%. I may even sell 20%. It's up to you to decide how much you want to sell. Many people at that level can consider to get out of the market completely if you want. There's nothing wrong with that. But for me personally, I will sell 10 or maybe 20%. I'm out of the market. I move that money depending on what exchange I work. And let me explain this to you. If I am on Bitfinex in Hong Kong, I would sell into cash and I would immediately move that cash to my HSBC account in Hong Kong. Bang, it's safe. Well, to a certain extent. I can then from HSBC move that money anywhere in the world. I can move it into New Zealand, into my bank account in New Zealand. I can move it between any other bank, Westpac Bank, Australia, New Zealand Bank. I can move it into South Africa in a bank in South Africa, in Absa Bank, for example. So you can move it anywhere. Now, if I trade on Binance, I'm selling it into Bitcoin. Now, when it's in Bitcoin, I'm going to use that Bitcoin, and it's immediate. You know, it's not a long dragged-out transaction. If you sell on Binance, for example, EOS, I'm selling my EOS back into Bitcoin. It's like instant. I sell, it's there. The Bitcoin is there. Now I take the Bitcoin and I buy a stable coin. A stable coin, guys, is anything like USDT, Tether, or True USD. And there's a bunch of other stable coins. You can just go and search it on the internet, find the stable coin, and you buy it. Now, I like to use USDT. Now, I would take USDT or True USD, and I would move that then into a Ledger Nano or a Bitfy wallet or any hardware wallet. So I'll keep it safe there. If you don't feel safe using it or leaving it in a stable coin, you have to sell it in cash and then move that cash back to your account. Like, for example, the way that you do it is I can, for example, in Binance, sell EOS, convert it into Bitcoin, move my Bitcoin to an Australian exchange, which is called BTC Markets. In South Africa, you may have a local exchange. In America, you may have a local exchange. In Nigeria, you may have a local exchange. You move it from wallet to wallet, a Bitcoin wallet. Once it's in my BTC Markets account on the Australian exchange, I convert it into cash. It's instant. Everything's instant. I can then move it off the exchange and dump it into my Westpac bank account in Australia. So wherever you trade on that exchange, you just need to figure out what facilities are there that you can use. But Tertius, yes, as soon as we head above that number 5, now we get into sell territory. And guys, don't feel guilty or don't feel emotionally depleted if you go there on number 5 and you sell everything and you're totally 100% out of the market and the market still goes up. It can go up to $5,000 and you may feel that you have lost so much money. The variables are always there that the market can turn around. And as I say, if you haven't sold, you'll be lucky if you sell your Bitcoin at 4,000. So sell the majority or all as soon as we get into this block. See, that block is just a little bit higher than this number 5. Anywhere in that block and above the 4360. If anything above 4360 is a bonus, and there's nothing wrong. I've done this many times where I am cautious and at 4360, I get out of the market. And then the market breaks that level there of 469 and 5 and it goes a little bit higher. And it goes up and up and up and you feel like, I've missed it. And then suddenly, bang, the market drops. I can tell you now that I don't see, with all the manipulation going on and in our data, we don't see Bitcoin breaking out here. We just don't see it. It's literally, it's never ever happened in Bitcoin. See this, and I'm going to make this a little bit darker for you. I'll make that black and thick so you can see what I mean. Look at this wedge here. It's very important that I actually show you this. The market came down in 5 legs. 1, 2, up there. 3, there. 4, 5 breakout. That's where it broke out. I didn't focus on that because, you know, we knew that's going to happen. That's always been in there. But when the market breaks out, it has to break out almost. And let me just try and draw this for you. It has to break out the same level from where it started. So if you take out, this is what normally happens, although Bitcoin only does 70% of that on a regular basis. So 70% could be about, almost about there. So if you move that over from where the bottom is, just a general rule, this is not technical, this is just a quick way of viewing where the high point is. So the high point, in our opinion, the maximum that we say that it can go is that level there of 4.6. And in previous reports, you will see that that figure is there as well, the 4.6 level. But I took that out because I don't want people to take the chance and play that market up unless you are savvy enough to do it. Because I tell you guys now, when you get to that top and the market turns around, it's going to be so quick. The market will literally drop in 4 hours. It will drop to about that level there, and then it will come back up. And you won't be able to sell your cryptos because, you know, there's so many people all over the world that are starting to sell. And as soon as Bitcoin just turns red, they sell. And it's crazy. And all these bots that we have at the moment, be careful for those bots. You know, if you do use bots, use a small amount of money. Bots normally don't make money, and you'll see that. You know, we've trialed so many bots. Bots are very difficult to make money with. Anyway, so this is the height that we see, and that's a quick way of seeing what's going to happen. Now, when it forms a pennant like it's done here. Now remember this is a bearish pennant. And remember that time we actually made a video, and I think it was recorded too, where I said that, look, the market normally when it does a pennant breaks down, okay? It's very uncommon for Bitcoin to have broken out. And we were probably one of the only people in the world that have said that Bitcoin is going to break out. And remember at that time, a few weeks ago, not that long ago, people were calling for Bitcoin to drop. And this is why, because technical analysis says that it must drop. But we look at algorithm data. We look at patterns. What will happen is that it's going to break upwards. It's going to come to that resistance line, break down, and then break upwards. We've literally got the entire year planned out. And I don't want to show further what happens there. We've got a whole year planned out. Otherwise, people will just steal our information. And as you see now, you know, people take our data. It's so funny, Tertius, over the last 2 days, we said we're not going to post anything. And the funny thing is nobody brought out any new reports in the world. As soon as I posted last night an update, suddenly all the reports came out. So be careful, you know, for these kind of things from other users, guys. You know, keep your data, really just keep it private. But what is happening here, many of you have been on the call a little bit a few weeks ago where I showed actually what happens here. Now that is not the real figure there. It's going to be way higher than 5,600, but I just didn't put the data in. Then it's going to drop and then it's going to go up. There's good times coming. That's all I can say. So the only thing that we need to focus on here now is that high point. And data may change in the next day or two. And if it does, I will send out immediate reports. I trade the same data that I give out. Tertius, I hope that question is answered about selling and moving into USDT or cash.
Absolutely, yeah, no, definitely, Morris. Something that I just thought of while you were doing analysis on this chart. If some of our guys in our team are still trading on the local exchange, they haven't progressed to actually trading on an international exchange like Binance or one of the others. And sometimes the conversion from USD to local currency can be a bit tricky. I think I've mentioned it before. We pay about a 10 to 15% premium on Bitcoin on our local exchanges. But if you look at the charts on that exchange, you can identify the level in the local currency that's an indication. But it is a lot more difficult when you've got the third currency pair in play to identify those higher areas. But yeah, you can use the local graph as well. So Morris, just a question on USDT. You're saying you move it off to a Ledger wallet. Do you think that 30 days is too long to keep it on an exchange? Is that stretching it a bit, or is that still within norms for leaving coins on an exchange?
Look, the problem is I'm okay to leave coins on the exchange, but let's have a look at the facts here. In this year, Cryptopia in New Zealand got hacked. There's other exchanges that got hacked as well. So there's a probability that you can lose your money. You have to move your coins. Don't leave it on the exchanges and move it onto hardware wallets. If you've got the ability to do it, do it. You can simply go and buy a Bitfy wallet. You can go and buy a Ledger Nano S. There's now a new Ledger Nano that will come out that's a Bluetooth ledger, which you simply just leave next to your computer, and you can move your coins over. I wouldn't suggest to do it. I like to plug it in and plug it out, and nobody can access it. So be careful with Bluetooth. Always use hardware wallets, So yes, Tertius, I would definitely move it off the exchange if you have the ability.
There's a question from Sandy asking if you sell only 10% in the 4360 area and the market continues to go down more, where do you sell more 10% amounts? I think maybe Sandy, you're missing Morris's comment. From within that block, you start laddering out different cells on the way up. It's not only selling 10%, but at a certain level you sell 10%, and a little bit higher you sell 10% more. Am I correct, Morris?
Exactly. Let me just make it clear again, Tertius, you are correct. See that number 5? The level there is 4188 Bitcoin. Now remember, I'm working on Bitstamp. Bitstamp gives you a really good true figure at the moment. So don't get confused and use, what's the other one? Bitfinex. The Bitfinex price will be way higher than that. So we are working on Bitstamp. So when you are there, as soon as it breaks that level there, I'm going to sell 10%. Well, 10 to 20% maybe. 20%. I'll probably go for the 20% range. So now I'm out of the market. My cash is safe. Now that level, let me just put a horizontal line in there. There we go. That's at the horizontal line. Now when the market moves up slightly more and it comes into this blue box here, probably about, you can play it about $50 increments, because that will still be huge profit. And then again, I sell 10% again. So I'm out of the market. And this can happen rapidly. You can even set it up in your back office on Binance or Bitfinex to sell automatically. In this case, I'm not going to do it auto. I'm going to sell it manually because I want to make sure that I get rid of my cryptos. You want to click sell, you want to check and make sure that your order is executed. The next level again, if it goes up again, another $50 odd, there again, I may then at that level, and this is where you just need to be a little bit savvy, maybe at that level, I'm going to sell 30% because it's a very nice high level. And, and I feel happy that it's that kind of price. Now remember, the 4360 is that level there. At that level there, I may sell another 10, 20, or 30%. So you can see what I mean with laddering out your buys. Now it's not a problem. Many people will just do it at once. If Bitcoin reaches maybe, we say 4360, if it's very close to that 4360, maybe that level there, and I'm just going to make this a different color, and we'll just make that red, make that there. Maybe at that level, what you can do, you can wait till that level and sell 100%. Depending on how much cryptos you have. It's going to be easy for you to get rid of 10,000. It's going to be easy to get rid of 200,000. It's going to be very difficult to sell $1 million at that level. You get my drift. So that's why I'm selling 10% here. I'm minimizing my money stash because I can't come to the top here and think that I'm just going to sell a huge amount of cryptos at that level. Your orders may not be executed. The market may come to that top And remember what I said, I'm expecting that to be the top, and then it's going to drop. But it could also stab through. And this is what I'm saying. If it stabs through, you can start selling there as well. If I do that, I'll only play with 10%. But remember what I'm saying is you're playing with dangerous money now. Many people have done it, and the only reason I'm saying this, Tertius, is because many people in the past have told me, yeah, but you said it's going to go a little bit higher above that. And I said, yes, I did say that. Like I showed you the double top, it can stab through. Yes, but I couldn't sell. You didn't help me correctly. So I just want to make it clear, I mean, guys, we're not there. We can't support thousands of people all over the world. We're giving you this video that you can try and figure it out. And we've done this multiple times. And Randy, you've been there since day one, where we've told people how to ladder out when you get to the top, how to ladder in when you get on the bottom. We've said that multiple times. I had a guy who bought on the bottom when we said ladder in your buys, only use 10%. This guy went and bought full 100%, and the market still went down. And we said that's exactly the reason why we say only invest 10% on the bottom. Because to find the exact bottom, think about this, guys. I'm not a clairvoyant. There's a lot of people who claim they are, but not even a clairvoyant will be able to tell you exactly where the top is. I can tell you many of you may have been with us in this up till about March 10, 2018. And as you can remember, manipulation in the market started March 10, 2018. Up till that time, we could tell you exactly where the high point would be to the dollar and to the cent. I would have been able to tell you 4367.25, that's going to be the high point. And people were amazed that we were so correct. We even had a counter clock. If you can remember the counter clock on our website, which ran down and said 2 hours, 1 hour, 15 minutes to the top, 10 minutes, and bang, 1 minute, the top sell. We could do that up till 10 March. 10 March, manipulation started, and the market has never, ever been the same. So to catch that high now is a big block. It's a zone. So be very careful playing that. It doesn't matter if you get out of the market here at 4232 and you're totally out and the market still goes up another 10 or 20%. The point is you've taken profits and you simply wait now for the next downtrend there.
I think, what I often say to you guys, when you're talking about this and people say, but how do I know when I'm going to buy and when must I sell? And I say to them, look, it's like planning a holiday down at the coast. You listen to the weather forecast and you want to go and you want to go and swim and what have you at the sea, but you got to know that sometimes you might have rain, some days it might be sun might shine. It's your decision at the end of the day. When you leave the hotel, are you taking your umbrella with you, or are you just taking your towel and your costume? But at least you have an idea of what's about to happen. Even the weather forecasters don't get it correct in exactly the same way. We've got a good indication of where, what is going to be happening. And going back to what we said earlier, one of the most valuable things for me is that, that principle you taught us of waiting for the bottom and looking for the confirmed uptrend. Leave some money on the table, leave 5%, 10%, because once it's turned, from there we catch the swing upwards. And exactly the same on the top. I don't have to catch that top exactly. I can take profits, get out, maybe take 5 or 10% and maybe put some sell orders in above where I think it's going to go. If it doesn't go, well, that's fine, because I've already taken the profit on the bulk of my money. So just that principle, as Randy was saying earlier, the principles we're learning from you. And this is why it's so important that people must realize it's one of the differences that we have at Python Signals to other services. Other services try to tell you on the spot or whatever, and they prescribe. But this is what crypto is all about. Crypto is about taking responsibility for our own money. And if you lose your private key, that's it. Your coins are gone. It's wasted. So by taking responsibility and by you teaching us these principles and these things, it's just so valuable. So thank you very much for that. Randy, I don't know if you want to add something there.
I wanted to kind of piggyback on what you were saying there, Tertius. You know, the fact is, guys, is we don't gamble here. Right, Marius? I mean, one of the things that I constantly remind people of in my webinars is that there's no gambling. And, you know, as a society, we have to sort of, you know, we have to sort of suppress this desire that we just want to get lucky. And that's what this is all about. You know, I've known Marius now for about 6 months. And gosh, guys, I don't know that I've ever detected any luck in Marius at all. You know, he doesn't give us lucky, you know, forecasting. He gives us these specific ideas and patterns so that we can make profit, not, you know, get lucky and win the lotto. So, you know, it does take a little bit of patience and refrain to learn and understand what Marius is showing us here, and try to resist that, you know, that desire to demand that there is some lucky call that Marius is going to make. This is not about luck, guys. You know, Marius is identifying the lows and the highs and helping us understand when to get in and when to get out. But it is not about, hey, wait for me to tell you the highest point, and then we're going to get lucky and pull out. You know, there's not that nature to what we're doing. Making profits where before you did not make profits, hey, that's good enough for me. You know, let's go out and make some profits. So thank you, Marius.
Yes, absolutely, Randy. We want to trade objectively, not subject. Subjective is, we just can't do that, you know. This is why we look at the patterns of Bitcoin. Now, just for those new people, I'm not going to draw all this information again, but just for the new people, Bitcoin started here in 2008. As a matter of fact, we have 9 months of trading data before Bitcoin started and before it was available to the public. So let that sink into your mind. You know, where did that data came from? Who traded it? Why did they trade it? Was it developed by Satoshi Nakamoto or a government? Anyway, so when Bitcoin started going up, it's very important that you look at this pattern. And I'm going to show you why you are sitting on a rocket ship. And that's why I said last night in the post, in that blog, I said it looks like Bitcoin is moving slow, but it's not. Your wealth will come to you so quick. When you get that wealth and you see $1 million in your bank account, you're going to go, you'll get goosebumps and you'll say, this is how time works. Many billionaires that have made this money have said the same. They said they waited and they worked and suddenly the money just came in so quick they couldn't believe it. It's going to be like a big surprise for you. Now, when Bitcoin was right down here at the bottom at 0 cents, 0.001, I think was when it came out, it went up very big. But look at this, it retraced 82%. Every single time it would retrace 85%, 85, 85. This is nothing different. And I'm only going to do this now for the new people, just so you can see. See here in 2013, the market again retraced approximately 85%. There we go, approximately. That one was 87%. This one here, that is also, if you look at that retrace, it's exactly the same. Let me just get that. And you look at that, another more or less 85%. Can you see the resemblance? 85, 85, 85, 85, 85. Now look at this in 2018 and 2019. Right there at the top, the market came and retraced here about 85%. Can you see why I am saying that we are at the bottom and that it's pretty much almost impossible for Bitcoin to go to $2,000? Okay, many people now all over the world, $2,000 is about there, more or less. There's your $2,000 mark. Now there's your retracement of 85%. Let's just put that there, more or less. Now why would we drop that big when it's never ever happened here along the line here? There is a probability, yes, it can happen, but at that point, all of us will be out of the market anyway. And we won't let you get back in the market unless we know there's a confirmed uptrend. Very easy to identify that uptrend, very, very easy. There's big resistance here, and the market now is starting to turn back. What it's going to do now is it's going to go up like this. And the next run that we find in our algorithm is a 15,000% gain in the next 2 years. Guys, 15,000%. It's going to be unreal. And you are right here at the bottom. And guess what? In Python Signals, I think there's about 2,000, 2,500 accounts. We're going to bring 1 million people into Python Signals. You are you are right at the forefront. You've got the first information. There's 2 ways that you're going to make a lot of money. Number one, you build your business and you bring people in. You simply refer them to get this information. And the second way that you're going to make money is you're going to trade your own money, whether it's $1,000 or 10 or 50 or 100 or 500,000. I've got a guy in Python Signals. Okay, he signed up in Python Signals to get our data. He's a Bitcoin fund manager. He trades $1 billion. Why would he want our data? I mean, he looked at my data and he said, this is unbelievable stuff. And he himself said to me, if I had your data a year or 2 years ago, I would have made $50 million by now. This is what he himself said to me. Now, that guy signed up in Python Signals and he's using our data. This is what I want you to understand. This data is so important. We make it basic for you to understand, like what you see on your screen there now. Now, let's go back to Bitcoin here. This high is the most important high. This is where we want you to get out. Now, whether you sell there on the top at that pink line there, or whether you sell here at 4,300, it's immaterial in the big scheme of things. Can you see now why I say it doesn't matter? If you get out very soon now, we are going to have a bit of a drop, and then we're going to go up. Exactly what we show you here. That drop is going to go downwards. Now, if you sell here at $4,000, for example, or 4,300, you take your money and you come back and you buy your cryptos here, you will almost increase your crypto holdings between 70 and 90%. So we make money in the down market as well. So that's why I say don't waste your money by shorting, day trading, all that kind of stuff. You know, play the market simple and just play it easy, because we're going to go up 15,000%. That's only the market going up. If we sell high and buy low constantly, we can make 32,000%. That means you can turn 14 or 15,000 into $1 million. It's not impossible, guys. It's not impossible. So at Python Signals, remember the goal here is that you have to get debt-free first. Make sure you get debt-free. Debt-free doesn't mean that you don't owe the banks money, but what I mean is you have to get all your debt under control. Some people have got debt in properties, which are good debt, but you have to get your debt under control. So get out of debt. Number two, make money in Python Signals as much as you can. With this blog now, Tertius, also, we want you guys to start posting information here, okay? So that the team, not just me, we can't answer 1,000 people, 2,000, 5,000, even when you get to 1 million. We need people to come up and measure up, become leaders, and you can respond to some of these questions here, if there are questions. But it's great that people are posting information here on the blog. You simply go to blog here on your back office, and when you click on blog, you will see all the different blog posts here. Now, we only put these kind of pictures in because we can't put a chart in there because sometimes the public can view the chart. They can only see that image. So, yeah, Tertius, I hope that helps. And we are here committed to helping you guys.
Absolutely. Thanks, Maurice. I think some of the stuff that you've just explained now answers some of the questions. See, Rebo had a question on some of the coins on Binance can only be traded from or to USD, but others can only be traded back to a BTC pair. Mm-hmm. So is it still worth going the extra step through to BTC back to USDT? And the answer is yes, because you want to, because if Bitcoin falls and Litecoin falls, you want to get out of the crypto into a stable coin. So, and you also asked a bit later, if we can go back to that Litecoin graph, what is the actual percentage from the top down to the 2000 level, just out of curiosity?
Which one is that, Tertius?
When you said, you know, if Bitcoin can't drop much further because that's like an 80% drop, and you drew in the $2,000 line there. Now, if you were to calculate the percentage from the December top down to 2,000, what would that be? What did that leave us with? 100, 110, 120?
Let's quickly have a look.
From the December top down to the 2,000 level? Only 89.
89, yeah.
89, 90. Okay.
It's not really that much.
Not that far-fetched. Okay.
If it were to drop, think about this, you know, if it were to drop, and let's just draw that in, it's going to go up and then drop. At that level there, that's where we believe it's going to go back up again. But look, at that level there, remember, guys, we are going to get out here on the top. I'm not going to buy back at all unless I know there's a confirmed uptrend. Because if the market goes down, man, I'll be the happiest guy in the world. Why? Because I've got all my money in cash. And the market could drop and drop and drop. And I'm only saying the market will drop because a lot of other people are saying it. 99% of people say it's going to drop. We don't see that drop. And when it turns around there, I'm going to buy. Do you know, yes, that's just the amount of cryptos that you will own then is unbelievable. Then the market will just come back up again. If that ever happens, I'll be happy. Because remember, guys, we get out on the high, we buy in the low.
Yeah. Then there's a question from Gert as well. As trading for the first time, he's questioning himself if you can transfer coins on an exchange platform directly into US dollars. And then he's got FE on Coin Super. Not exactly sure I understand the question, Gert. Some of the coins can be traded back straight to USD on some exchanges. Other exchanges you'll have to use USDT. And I think Maurice, you've touched on that question already when you spoke about HSBC. So Gert, if I'm missing your question, please rephrase for us. Thanks for that. Guys, if you want to ask a question, come on, unmute yourself, activate your camera. Let's hear from you guys. This is what Python Signals is about. It's about communicating with you guys and having an opportunity to ask and answer questions.
Now, just interesting, I'm looking at the week there as well, which I forgot actually to mention, Tertius and Randy, Keith, is that we must form 4 uptrend candles on the week. So the 4th one is this last one, which could possibly be that last candle there that we are about to form before the market starts turning down. And that is the previous high, the one that we were talking about there. It is. So we expect the market to go about 4360, and that is the last candle that we look. So it must look something like that before then retraces back down. Then we have a big green candle. But on the monthly, we still look extremely good. Let me just go to the monthly there. Just look at that. I mean, all that downtrend right down to that there, we've got that monthly candle. Very, very good. So you always get the 1 month down, one red month, one good month. just at the bottom when it starts. So the next candle here for March will be a red candle. And then we get into a green candle again, and then it's all the way upwards.
Okay, awesome. There we go. Hey, we are 20 past the hour. Okay, so here's a question. Can we also get some info on NEO, EOS, Bitcoin Cash, Ripple in the coming month or two?
Yeah, absolutely, Tarsis. I think we should start working on that now. You know, NEO, everything now is going to follow what Bitcoin does. You'll see that there's that high that Bitcoin had. This now has come down, and expect that to reverse and go up one more time. That's what we're hoping for. This resistance here is probably the line that will stop the price. So you can expect NEO, for example, to hit perhaps maybe that $12. If it reaches that, that will be just really amazing. But that is what we can expect. Let's quickly go to EOS. EOS, again, the same. We expect EOS to probably go down to this level here of about 58, sorry, not 58, but where it is now, another 42% upwards. Again, the resistance of that line there, very, very big resistance. And this is why Bitcoin could also get stopped at that level there, maybe 42, maybe 40%. We quickly have a look at DigiByte. DigiByte exactly the same resistance line there. DigiByte is very, very positive, and you're going to see that will turn positive a lot quicker than what we think it is. It could go up to about 48% from where it's now, about 41%. That target there of 0.015, just take that out. This target here, 0.015, and just take screenshots if you want this data. It will be in the video as well. OMG. OMG is one of those coins that can rapidly move up so quick, very, very quickly. So we can still expect that. See, there's exactly that all-time high, not the all-time high, but the high for the week, the all-time week high. So expect that to be broken, and that could give you another 20 or 30%. Now, look at your portfolios now and say to yourself, if your portfolio is now 100,000 and you add 20 or 30,000 on, so you can make 230, 220,000. So that's what's going to come next. A 10, 20, 30, some coins about a 40% gain. With this specific OMG, don't be surprised if this, and many coins will be like that. See, if this thing suddenly shoots up out of nowhere, many coins can do this and quickly go up to 100% gain and then drop. So remember what I said about the stab through? It's going to be kind of like a fake breakout, and many, many, many people are going to get caught up in this. And guys, this is one thing, Tarsis, that I forgot to mention. We are going to get out here, but many people, the people that are not informed, are going to get in right when we sell. And this is why we have a stab through then. Because those people, they see the market go up, and they FOMO, fear of missing out. And they go, I'm going to invest, and they invest 10, 20, 100,000, and they want to ride that wave up. The majority of people buy in an uptrend. We sell in an uptrend, and we get out of the market. We do the opposite what the other people do. Nobody comes here and buys in at the low. People don't do it. But this is what we do. We do the opposite of the world, and that is why we will become the multi-millionaires of the future. You can't follow the crowd. The crowd will lead you astray. We have to do things a little bit different. So BAT is another one that went up really nicely, and expect that level to be broken again. You'll see every single coin has got that little stab, you know, where it made that high this week, the high for the week. XLM is a little bit of a disaster at the moment, but expect that to break out a little bit. I don't see much in XLM. There's so much good news about XLM or Stellar, deals that have been signed with IBM. So expect in the future, this will still be a very good crypto. I'm just surprised that it is this low. But if you own it, also sell it when it goes up. As a matter of fact, sell all cryptos when Bitcoin reaches that high. That's about what I've got here. NEO is the other one. NEO is a very, very great coin. You can see it's crossed there with the EMA 55 and 21, and it's still above that line. So we, as I said, we can still hit about the $12 level. Litecoin is probably the most exciting. And we just have to wait and see what the level is going to be. But if it breaks $50 here, it's certain it's going to go to 62. If it breaks 62, very certain it's going to go to 76. My personal sell level is going to be very close to 76, as I said in the reports, because I'm not going to play this market upwards. You can get caught out very quickly. And the manipulators, they know it. They know that people are going to buy in that uptrend, and that's what they want. Because then at the top, that's when they start selling and get out. And that's how they take people's money. So for us, it's better. Take a smaller profit and get out and be safe and enjoy the rest of the day then, once we get up. So we are hoping just for that uptrend there, both on Litecoin, Bitcoin, and yeah, Tertius. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely, Maurice. We look exciting times. Ladies and gents, any more questions? I know there's Reba, I've just answered you on that one. Just to confirm, Maurice, where you have the option to sell to USDT on an exchange, you sell directly to USDT. Or if you've got the USD option, you sell directly. You don't go as a rule through BTC and then to USD, correct?
Yes, correct.
So Litecoin, you'll sell straight to USD or Digibyte, or the ones that you have a trading pair that you can sell to the base currency, either USD or USDT. You'll take that shortcut. You won't go the long route, as opposed to something like I presume BAT and maybe OMG. Possibly
yeah, exactly.
don't have USD trading pairs. So
exactly,
with those coins, yeah, you will go the BTC route. But with other coins, if you can go straight to BTC, straight to USD, you do that, or USDT.
Yep.
Fixed up, ladies and gents. 25 past the hour.
That's just one point quickly.
Yes.
Sorry
yes,
to interrupt.
absolutely.
Keep this in mind. See this line here that I have. Very important that you look at that line. That line is 3716. That should be regarded as your exit point. If Bitcoin decides to drop, start laddering out your buys. Because when it drops below 3716, I don't expect it to happen 3713 actually, start getting out of the market. Now, your next level where you should then be completely out of the market, in my opinion, is below this number 4. If you drop below that 3.5 level, see that level there? I ladder out my buys between levels like this. 10%, 10%, it drops more, 10%, drop more, and here I'm out 100%. So please, just take a snapshot there, guys. Keep that printed out, keep it next to you. Because the market can always drop down, always. It's happened twice in Bitcoin in 10 years, where it came to a point like this, it didn't hit the resistance line, and the market prematurely dropped down. I forgot to mention that. I should have mentioned that earlier, Tertius. So this line here, take a screenshot, protect your assets when the market drops. Then we'll stay out of the market, because the market could then potentially drop into this lower box here. It will go very slowly, just downwards. Okay, so it can happen. I don't foresee that, but let's play it safe. Tertius, all good. Randy, all good, man. Thank you, Keith.
Thanks, Maurice.
Thank you, Marius. Thanks for all the great information yet again.
Yeah, we'll load this video up uncut so that people can have a look at that, and expect that video to be uploaded within about 24 to 30 hours. Okay? Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks, Maurice. God bless.
Man.
Have a fantastic evening.
Yeah.
Or day.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, Gert. Thank you, everybody.
Cheers, Randy.